Okay, so this is my testimony of why I converted over to Christianity and why I believe in Jesus Christ and why I know there's a God. And probably thinking, okay, if there's a God, what does that have to do with Jesus Christ? Well, apparently, according to the Bible and according to Jesus Christ himself, Jesus is God in human form. So you can't just believe in his soul and not his body, which would be Jesus Christ. Like, please. Anyways, before I get to my testimony, I just want to say this, okay? Because I lost a subscriber and I'm kind of mad about that. Because y'all that watch me know me to be a real ass bitch that always speak fucking facts. I'm an honest intellectual. I'm not an intellectual with 5,000 biases that cherry picks what to believe in. Because, oh, I'm gonna believe this because this suits my situation as a stripper. Yeah, since I'm a stripper, I'm just gonna believe this as true and this as a lie because this just suits my situation as a stripper right now. Oh, I'm a guy and I'm gonna believe this because this just suits my sexual nature. I don't have to take any responsibility for not being able to have no self-control if I believe this. So I'm gonna just believe this. I'm not gonna believe that. That's literally how y'all be. Y'all not honest intellectuals. At the person that unsubscribed me. Anyways. Y'all not honest intellectuals though. Like if you're cherry picking what to believe, you're not a truth seeker. If you're a truth seeker, you're seeking the truth. You want to know what's true, not what makes what piece of information sounds good and makes me look better. No, no, no. If you watch me, you're gonna get the truth. Whether you like it or not. It's that simple. If it's true, I'm sorry, it's true. The truth don't care about your feelings. The truth don't care you're a stripper. The truth don't care you have no self-control. The truth don't care that you have too much fucking pride to admit that it's the truth. It's still gonna be the truth. Anyway, and on top of that, this goes right along. This is a good segue right into my testimony. Being spiritual, like now we're being serious. Now we're getting serious, okay? Being spiritual led me to being homeless, led me to arguing with my family, my whole family disowning me, led me to feeling shut out from the whole entire world, led me to having a deep fucking loneliness, feeling like I don't belong on earth because majority of the world didn't understand me. Only a small amount of people in the world understood me. Who the fuck wants to live like that? Excuse my language, Lord. It's the passion. Who wants to live like that? And I got tired of pretending that I'm happy. I got tired of pretending like I got tired of pretending that my intellectual state, the way I built my mind, I got tired of pretending like like it's working, like it's doing something for me. I got tired of pretending that I knew something was wrong in my intellect. As an honest intellectual, I could literally cry. Because I knew something was wrong in my intellect. Because I'm like, what is wrong? Something is wrong with my life. Because I was going, like, everything was wrong. I was homeless. My whole family disowned me. I had no friends. I was miserable. I was like, something is wrong in my intellect and I still didn't have peace. That was the other thing too. That's what really let me know. Like, it wasn't even all the shit that was happening in my life that was like, hello, something is wrong in your intellect. It was the fact I didn't have peace. I still had internal conflicts. I still had insomnia. I still couldn't sleep at night. So I'm like, I don't have peace. Like something is wrong in my intellect because in spirituality and especially in meditation and stuff, it's like you're kind of led to believe that there's this ultimate conclusion that's supposed to be like the ultimate truth. And when you reach it, you're going to experience nirvana or peace. And you could also reach that state of and you maintain that state of not reach, but you maintain the state of nirvana through meditation. Whenever you feel like it's too much thoughts going on, you could meditate and return back to that conclusion and experience that nirvana again. When I tell you that conclusion for me that actually brought me that nirvana state was when I finally accepted there was a God. That was the ultimate conclusion. There's a God. You're not God. You're trying to play God when you manifest. You're trying to play God when you decipher the universe. You're trying to play God when you do astrology. You're playing God. But you're not actually it. Facts. And because you're not actually it, trying to be it, there's consequences. Your life turns out fucked up because you're living wrong. It's like an apple trying to be an orange. And an orange is way more juicier than an apple. So now an apple is trying to produce more juice, but it can't because it's an apple. So now it's doing fucked up shit to itself, trying to produce juice, thinking it could be an orange. It's literally like that. We're humans, thinking we could be like God, thinking we could be our own God. And you can't, because the consequences is destruction. That's the consequences. One more thing I want to say before I get to my actual testimony is that when you look at people that believe in God, people that, even if they're not into Christianity, I'm talking about people that just believe in God. Muslims, they worship the same God Christians do. The only difference is that Muslims don't believe Jesus is God in the flesh. They think Jesus is just another prophet. That's the only difference between Muslims and Christians. But they still worship the same God. They worship the soul of God. But they act like his flesh don't matter. And that's why they're not really going on. Anyway, that's why they're wrong. Because that's like me saying I'm going to worship only this part of you, and that part of you I'm not gonna worship. Like I only like certain parts of you. I don't like the other parts of you. So when you're around me, you can only act like this. But the second you act like the second you show those other parts of yourself, I don't wanna worship you no more. Like that's literally them. Like, oh God, I'll worship you. But the second you tell me that you came down here in human form, God, I don't think I'm gonna believe you anymore. Like what? Like you're not genuine. Anyway, that is so irrelevant. I'm sorry. But my point is that they still believe in God. And there's other religions that believe in God. That's honestly the only, Christianity and Muslims is the only two religions I know that believe in that there's a higher power. I know there's other ones, obviously, but there's other religions, obviously. But yeah. So people that just believe in God, those people I noticed, they're spiritual just as much as we're spiritual. They see angel numbers just as much as spiritual people see angel numbers. They get waked up in the middle of the night at 333 555 just as much as spiritual people get waked up in the middle of the night seeing 333 555. And I know they get waked up in the middle of the night because me as Christian converting over to Christian, I'm thinking like I'm going to stop experiencing these things. I still experience these things, but now with a different perception of what I'm experiencing. But it's the same shit. Excuse my language. I still need to learn to stop cussing, but it's the same stuff. It's the same stuff, literally. All of the spiritual phenomena, seeing a feather. Literally today when I came back from youth group, not today, yesterday when I came back from youth group at my church, when I was coming inside the house, a baby butterfly was on my back. And I walked inside the house and my mom was like, you have a butterfly on your back. I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I turned around, the butterfly flew off my back. And like, no, when I was spiritual, I was experiencing things like that too. Butterflies represent transformation. And yesterday was what, according to astrology, a full moon, synchronicity. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's synchronicities, there's messages through animals, through feathers, like all of the same stuff. Literally, it's the same stuff, except the difference is they recognize it as God speaking to them. You guys, like spirituality even acknowledges, okay, there's angels, but they don't acknowledge who do these angels answer to. Who's the master of these angels? Or these angels could do whatever they want, and they're just a good person. Like what? Because if you think about it, if humans could do whatever they wanted, I don't think everybody would be good people. I think people would be stealing. I think people would be go getting revenge wherever they feel see fit. So it's kind of like, but anyway, because it's like these angels did pop up out of nowhere. They were once human, so it's like I don't know. I'm gonna just leave that there for you to intellectualize for yourself. But what was I saying? So yeah, it's the same thing. The only difference is with people that believe in God, the fruits that they're bearing is good fruit. Look at their life. Look at how happy they are. They don't feel like they're separate from the world. They don't feel like aliens. They feel at home on earth. They feel like earth is their home. They feel comfortable here on earth. They don't feel like they want to go somewhere else with just a small group of people. Like, they don't feel like that. They're happy. They celebrate God woke me up this morning. They manifest just as much as we manifest through prayer by asking God for it. And God gives it to them, or else they wouldn't keep on going back and praying and asking for something else. Because, humans are always unsatisfied, which is why God always says, remain grateful and keep your sights on what's to come after death. So it's like the second you feel like, oh, I'm unsatisfied with my life, I want more. Think about the eternal life you're about to get when you die, and how it don't get no better than that, and how you should remain grateful for having that, because it really don't get no better than that, because the money is going to run out. The love between that little honeymoon phase is going to be over soon between you and your spouse. It always ends in this realm. But the realm you're going to, the kingdom of God, it's eternal. It never ends. So it's like, it don't get no better than that. And you should just remain grateful for that. But this is not a Bible study. Excuse me, my bad. So yeah, it's the same thing. But once again, they celebrate every day. They're happy every day. They don't feel separate from the earth, from the world. They feel at home. They look forward to death. They're not studying death every 5 seconds. Like, honey, they're at peace. And I know this because I believe in God and I'm at peace now. A peace I was trying to reach, going in circles, trying to reach when I was spiritual. Literally going in circles, 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 literally going in circles. Now let's get to my testimony. So as y'all know, I was homeless. Not only was I homeless, I was in a very toxic relationship. Very toxic. He kept putting his hands on me. He was madly in love with me, but also had trauma issues that he didn't want to fix. And he's an Aries. I don't care about astrology anymore, but to get to y'all, because I know y'all are still in that space, so y'all can really understand the bullshit. He was an Aries that had trauma and didn't want to face his trauma. Put an Aries and trauma together, it's not pretty. and also put passion in there because he was in love with me. That's a horrible mix. That's a horrible mix. So he kept putting his hands on me. He kept yelling at me. He would say awful things to me with such conviction. I would have to keep reminding myself that it's not true. He's just in his feelings, because he would say it with such conviction. You would literally start to believe it. The awful shit he would say to me. He tormented me every day while I was in my tent. It's bad enough I'm already homeless in a tent. I literally have videos on my channel of me in my tent making content. So you can go look at the evidence for yourself. I was in a tent, and he would literally come to my tent and make my life miserable every day. I broke up with him. And every time I break up with him, that's when he would do that. So it's like, okay, it's either like pretend to like him and be in a relationship with him. But even in a relationship with him, I was still miserable. It's like I couldn't escape this dude. The only way I could escape this dude was if I met some. So this is the plan. This was my plan, right? This is what I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to go online. I'm going to go on like a dating site or whatever. And I'm going to meet somebody. And I'm going to tell them I'm homeless. And I'm going to act like I'm interested in dating them too. and I'm gonna do what I need to do just to like, just so they could come and like fucking pretty much rescue me. Because it wasn't so much about being homeless. It was really like I was just trying to escape my ex. Like that's what it was. And I was using the fact that I was homeless to get them to come and save me from my ex pretty much, right? So I was doing that. I was like trying to look for someone. Eventually, like 2 weeks later, right, I ended up finding somebody. And he was cute too, but I was just in a space of like I don't really care to like be in a relationship, but I was just trying to escape my ex, right? Anyways, so he ended up coming, driving down or whatever. I had to get him gas money, and I ended up getting him gas money because I was using TikTok at the time and I was making money through TikTok. So got him gas money, then he came and picked me up or whatever, and then I escaped my ex. Great. That was all me. There was no God in that, right? Now, we're at his place. I'm thinking like, okay, great, like this is a great start. Like, you know, I'm out of the woods now. I'm away from my ex. Like, okay, things are getting a little better. Like, okay, that's great. Like, I'm just gonna, you know, dot my I's, cross my T's, like be on my P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? And really like get my shit together, you know? So that's what I thought. I thought I was in a better situation. But this dude, okay, so I am an empath and I could read people. Like I know people. Like I know people. I could meet someone and I could just name facts about you. I'm a Scorpio. I have a Scorpio stellium in my astrology chart. I honestly think it's because of that. Well, I used to think it's because of that, but honestly, it's just a gift from God. Like, fuck y'all and y'all astrology. I'm sorry. It's a gift from God. But since y'all in that space of astrology or whatever, so y'all could see what I'm saying. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio Venus, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio South Node, Scorpio Mercury. And I really feel like the Scorpio Mercury is like, because Scorpio Mercury, if you look it up, it literally is that I fit that description perfectly. Whenever I meet somebody, instantly I know how they think, I know how they move, and I understand intellectually the space that they're in and why they move like that. Like stuff like that, right? So just so y'all could understand, but no, it's just a gift from God. When I meet people just like that, I can name 5 facts about them. So it's like I met him and like I already knew, like if I don't have sex with this guy, he's not gonna want to help me anymore. Like, and the reason for that is because the first night, I'm not gonna act innocent. The first night I had sex with him, out of my own free will, I wanted to have sex. I was like, I need to release. I need to feel good right now. Like, I was going through it, okay? I was like, I just need to feel good right now. Like, whatever. So, like, you know, I asked him to have sex, right? But then after that, I'm thinking, like, it's going to be cool. But then he wanted to keep having sex after that. And I'm like, and I could sense if I tell him no, he's not going to want to help me anymore. So I was like, and like obviously he's not gonna be like, if I tell him no, obviously he's not gonna be like, okay, you have to get out. But he's not gonna help me. Like he's gonna like it's gonna be like we have one little argument and he's gonna use that argument as a reason for him to not help me anymore. Type of thing. Like he's not going to try to, you know, work with me, is what I'm saying. So I'm like, damn, like I'm in a tough spot because when I don't want to have sex, and I know my ladies relate to this, when I don't feel like having sex, but I have to have sex, bitch, I feel like I'm being raped. I feel like I'm being raped because I don't want to have sex. So it's like, but I felt like I had to because then he wouldn't have worked with me. So now I'm having sex with him, right? Because I feel like I have to. And it's like, I can't take no more bullshit. I can't take my life the way it is anymore. Like, I thought I was in a better situation and now I'm having to go through this bullshit. Like, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I was like, bro, if there's a God, help me. Like, I was like, help me. Like, I literally said that while he was having sex with me. In my mind, I was like, I need help. That's all I said. I didn't even say if there's a God. I was just like, I need help. But I was speaking to God. I was just like, I need help. And that's all I said. That same day, no, the next day. The next day, he goes to work, right? And before he went to work, he told me, he was like, I really don't feel like going to work. And, you know, the compassionate side of me wanted to be like, oh, then you don't have to go or whatever like that. Like, I'm going to start working soon and I'm going to be able to start helping with the bills. And I was about to say that, but something stopped me. I don't know why I didn't say it. I just didn't. I was going to and I wanted to, but I stopped. I don't know why. I just didn't say it. So then he ended up going to work. And so now he's at work and I'm at his crib and I'm just chilling, watching Netflix. I end up falling asleep. And then I get woken up at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's a call from him. And I'm looking at the time and I'm like, he's still not home from work yet? And I see he's calling me and I'm like, okay. So I answer the phone. And he tells me that he's in jail. He's in jail. And he told me that he's in jail and that he's just letting me know and that he's not sure when he's gonna be out. And I'm like, okay. And then he just hung up like that. And then I never heard from him. I never heard from him again after that. I was like, in jail? He didn't tell me why he was in jail. He didn't tell me what he did. To this day, I don't even know what he did or what he got locked up for. But I'm thinking like, a part of me is delighted. Not a part of me, all of me. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me was delighted because yes, I'm not going to have sex with him anymore. But shit, am I going to be back on the streets? Like, am I about to be homeless again because he's in jail? I can't pay his rent. I'm about to be on the street again. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck? I just got out of being homeless, but you know, I had already surrendered. So at this point, I'm going with the flow. At this point, like, I'm tired. I don't give a F. I'm like, I'm about to be homeless again. I didn't even care. I was like, all right. And I went back to sleep. I went back to sleep. Like, I was in a very, like, straight face place. I didn't care what was happening in my life, good or bad. If something good happened, I wasn't excited. If something bad happened, I wasn't sad. I did not care. I was in a very much, like, I give up space in my life. But, so yeah, I went back to sleep. I woke up the next morning. He had roommates and like I was talking with his roommates. They smoked weed. I was smoking with them. Like honestly, I wasn't really worried about my situation at all. I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't care. I just didn't care. And it was like that for like 3 days or so. And then like 3 days in, I was like still on these dating apps. So I was like texting people on these dating apps casually, just texting them. And like when they asked about myself, I would just tell them the truth and stuff like that. And eventually I came across somebody. He just wanted to hang out. And I was like, yeah, like, fuck it. Like, I'm not doing anything. Like, yeah, let's hang out. Like, I'm telling you, like, I was not worried about my situation at all. Like, I surrendered. I gave up. I didn't care if I was on the street. I just came from being back on the streets. Like, I'm not new to being on the streets. Like, please. I've been homeless before. So it's like, it's not the end of the world that I'm about to be homeless again. So I really just, I didn't care. Okay. I was really just, I was dying for some peace. So, yeah, he wanted to hang out. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's hang out. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm about to be homeless in a few days. I didn't care. Like, whatever. Like, let's hang out. Like, I'm vibing, you know? So I hang out with this dude. He picks me up to hang out. We're talking. We ended up really fucking vibing. And I didn't expect it. Like, we ended up really vibing. And one thing led to another. And, like, it just happened just perfectly. Like, next thing I know, I'm living with him. Like, that's all I know. Next thing I know, I'm living with him. Okay? We was vibing really well. Like, we liked each other. It was nice. And now, like, we're living together. We're, like, planning our life together. It was pretty nice, but it was so effortless. Like, all of this is happening effortlessly. And I'm like, wow, right? But, Fast forward a few weeks, he starts playing in my face. Like, we go to Walmart and he starts like flirting with somebody. Oh, and before I entered this segment, God was in that, because as I said before, when he was on top of me, I asked God to help me. God sends him to jail, and then God sends me this man. And you know it's God because it's a flow. You're in a flow state. Everything is happening miraculously on its own. That's how you can give credit to something else. Because you know that me, myself, was just in a flow state. I was not in a state of trying to control things. So that's why I'm able to give that credit to God, if that makes sense. Okay, boom. So now we're living together. Fast forward a few weeks, right? Fast forward. We're at Walmart. He starts flirting with this girl right in front of me. I'm a Scorpio, like I said. I don't play that. And on top of that, you know all the shit I just been through? Intellectually, spiritually, physically, being homeless, and the abusive relationship I just got out of. All that shit I went through. Do you think I have time for a little ass boy to be playing in my face? All that shit I just went through? Like, honest question, guys. No, I don't. So when he did that, it was like, okay. And I told him, like, I don't want to be with you no more. Like, you just. And then he was all like, damn, for real. He's like, it's not even like, I'm like, chill. Like, I'm not with you no more. Like, period, right? So, broke up with him. Now, we continued on as friends. Fast forward. So I have bipolar disorder, and I also have mania. The mania comes from my bipolar disorder. If you don't know what bipolar disorder is, it means pretty much you go up and down rapidly. You experience high highs and low lows in a short period of time. Right now, I could be neutral. 5 minutes from now, I'm experiencing mania. Mania is when you're so, like, you're really, really happy in a abnormal way. If that makes sense. Like, you're super, super happy as if you're high off drugs, but you're not. Type thing. That's mania. And then depression, obviously, is when you're experiencing a low low. When you're sad, but really, really effing sad. That's depression. So mania, really, really happy. Depression, really, really sad. So it's like the bipolar disorder is when you're fluctuating between those two extremes in a short period of time. So that's bipolar disorder. And because I'm a positive spirit, I'm more positive. I experience mania more than I do depression. So, I'm on medication for it now, but then I was unaware that I had this. So it started to act up. My mania started to act up. My bipolar disorder started to really act up. And being an intellectual, you kind of get lost in your mind. And so I have periods. I don't anymore, thank Jesus, ever since I reverted my life back over to Jesus. But I have like these little panic attacks where I'm like lost in my mind. And I don't know how to get out. I don't know where to land. I don't know how to come back to reality. And I'm completely aware it's happening. But I don't know how to come back to reality. I don't know where to land. Like, I don't know where to land. And it's pretty much like I'm circulating in my mind, going in circles, not knowing where to stop. Because there's no fucking conclusion. Which is why I still haven't been able to sleep, which is why I had insomnia too, because my mind would keep going because there's no conclusion. Your mind would keep going until it reaches a conclusion. That's the only way to shut your mind up. Reaching a fucking conclusion. But yeah, so there's no conclusion, so there's no way for me to stop. So it's like these little panic attacks where I'm lost in my mind and I'm like freaking out, I'm lashing out, I'm doing a bunch of weird things. Like, it's bad. So I was having another one of those episodes. And he didn't know how to handle it. And he was freaking out too. So he made me call my parents. So I called my parents. I normally when I'm in those episodes, I just like listen to whoever the person that I'm with that I trust. I just listen to them because I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know how to land. And I feel like I'm gonna cry again because it's like it's one of my struggles that I struggled with when I was spiritual before I became Christian. So I was just listening to him, right? Because I trusted him. So he was all like, call your mom, call your mom. I was like, okay. So I called my mom, and then I gave the phone to him, and he was talking to my mom or whatever in Creole, because we're Haitian. Me and him were both Haitian. So he's talking to my mom in Creole or whatever, and he's explaining to her everything and stuff like that. And then my mom says, okay, well, because, you know, like I said, my parents, not my mom, but like my whole rest of my family, my stepdad, my brother, like my brothers, my sisters, like they all like disowned me. So it was like, my mom was like, you know, I would love for her to come back, but like everyone else at the house, like it's not just up to me, it's also up to my husband, which is my stepdad. And, you know, we were like, he really like disowned me during that time. So she was like, she can't come back here. But she's in Orlando, and her real dad, my real dad, also lived in Orlando. So she was all like, she gave him my real dad's number, and he called my real dad. And my real dad gave him my address. And so then he took me to my real dad, right? And because he's thinking like he's gonna know what to do. But my real dad didn't even know what to do either. And like my real dad also didn't want me, which is crazy to me. I didn't see that coming. Apparently, my real dad said that I can't stay with him because he stays with people already. That's what he said. So my real dad ends up calling the police and letting the police take me to a mental home because he couldn't keep me. Anyway, I forgive him, but how could you, Father? How could you? But I forgive him for real. He probably just didn't want to get kicked out from where he was living at. Yeah. Because my dad also used to be homeless, my real dad. So I understand that. So anyways, he ends up calling the police and having the police take me to a psychiatric hospital or whatever. So now I'm at a psychiatric hospital or whatever, and I'm freaking out because I didn't know where I was. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I'm just trusting my dad, thinking everything is going to be straight. Next thing you know, I'm in this hospital full of these people that don't look like me. Honestly, if they were black, I would have felt more comfortable. But you had Chinese people there, you had white people there, you had just people that didn't look like me, and it just made it scarier because I didn't even know where the fuck I was at. Like, honestly, I'm just saying, like, it's not a racist thing. But if they were black, I would have felt more comfortable. Like, it's not a racist thing at all. But anyways, I just didn't know where I was at, and I didn't know what was going on. So I was freaking out even more, and they had to shoot hormones in my butt to get me to fucking calm down. And eventually I ended up sleeping for like 2 days straight. That's how much hormones they freaking sticked in me. I ended up sleeping for 2 days straight, and then I woke up 2 days later still there, and then that's when they explained everything to me and told me everything that like happened and that was going on, right? So then once they explained everything to me or whatever, I was like, okay, like, let me call my mom. Wait, no, yeah, how did I get his? I think I knew his number by heart, and I ended up calling the guy again, and I called him. No. Okay, yeah. I got his number from my mom. So I called my mom because I know my mom's number by heart. And I called my mom. I told her, you know, where I was at and everything. And I told her to give me the guy's number. She gave me his number, and then I called him and I told him where I was at and stuff like that. Told him that my dad sent me here instead or whatever. I guess I couldn't stay with him or whatever like that. And then he's telling me, and then now he's telling me, by the way, this is all by the grace of God. Like, these line of events was all meant to happen because I'm completely out of control. Because during that time before I made it to the psychiatric hospital, I'm completely out of control, and I'm completely surrendering to the people around me because, again, I'm having one of those panic attacks where I'm lost in my mind and I don't know how to get out. So I'm just like, okay, like, I'm just listening to the people around me because, like, I just want to land somewhere and be okay again, because I don't feel okay right now. Like, I'm just going in circles in my mind and I'm aware of it at the same time. It's just so weird. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but um so those line of events that was taking place, that's all by the grace of God, because I'm completely like, I'm just going with the flow, surrendering, just hoping for the best, right? And then now I wound up in the psychiatric hospital. From the psychiatric hospital, I'm making calls or whatever. I told my mom that, my real dad sent me here. And she was all like, what do you mean? Like, you were supposed to stay with him, we can't take you back here because my husband is like, mad at you and stuff like that, whatever, right? Which is my stepdad, right? So I was like, okay, well, now I'm at the psychiatric hospital. So then I was like, I guess from here, I'm just gonna have to go to a homeless shelter, right? But then the guy or whatever was talking to my mom, because I was telling the guy how I'm just gonna have to go to a homeless shelter. I told him that, but I guess he told my mom not to send me to a shelter because he told her that I was gonna be lonely and stuff like that, which she's totally right. I definitely would have been lonely. So like, it made my mom feel bad. So my mom like talked to my stepdad or whatever. No, she didn't even talk to my stepdad. She went behind his back and she came to Orlando. She drove 3 hours. I love my mom. Anyways, she drove 3 hours to Orlando. She went behind her husband's back and she picked me up from the psychiatric hospital. And when I come back to the house, I'm going to have to like, really, I'm going to have to put a lot of work in, like, to get these people to like forgive me for all, like, for the way I've been treating them. Like, I disrespected the heck. Like, they have all rights to disown me because I was very disrespectful to them, especially my stepdad. And I put my family through a lot, just being spiritual, like, because I've been like in and out of mental homes, like, just being spiritual. And just being an honest, like, not even being spiritual, like, just being an honest intellectual trying to figure it out. Like, fuck being spiritual. Like, I'm literally just an honest intellectual trying to figure it out. And my ultimate conclusion was there's a God and he was here on earth before. And when he was here on earth, he was Jesus. Period. Like, and he's going to come back to earth again as Jesus. Anyways, so when I finally reached that ultimate conclusion, that's when I finally got the nirvana. That's when I finally got the peace. That's when I finally got the serenity. That I've been going in circles in my damn mind for. Anyways, so yeah, I'm thinking when I come back to this house, I'm gonna have to put in a lot of work. But no, to my pleasant surprise, I came back to the house and my stepdad was so happy that I was home. Like, I could cry again. I don't know why this is so emotional. Because it's like, it made me realize like how wrong I was. Like, damn, like, these people, like, they're accepting me back with open arms. My brother, my sister, my stepdad, like, they were happy I was back home, bro. They accepted me back with open arms. They gave me a bunch of food. They bought me clothes. Like, my brother helped set me up with a job. Like, bro, it was so much love, and it was crazy. It was like, wow, like, here I am feeling alone and feeling like I got nobody, feeling like nobody loves me. Like, that's crazy. Like, and it's all by the grace of God. All by the grace of God. Like, one thing just led to another, and here I am. Like, I'm in the church. I'm in college now. I'm back united with my family. I'm closer with my family than I ever been in my life. Like, everything that happened literally just brought us closer. And it's crazy. And now here we are today making this video. So this is my testimony, and this is why I would always believe in God. I will always believe in Jesus Christ, because it's not a belief, it's a knowing. I wouldn't be in this house. I wouldn't be here, like, if I never surrendered when that dude was on top of me. If I never said, help me, I don't know. I still would have been trying to control everything. I don't know what shit would have led. I don't know, but I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been happy, and I wouldn't have had this peace. You see what I'm saying? If I never asked God for help. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I know he's true. And that's why I know he will show up if you're genuine and genuinely needing help. His help, specifically, he will show up. He will show up. but it's got to be genuine. It's got to be from the bottom of your heart. You got to mean it. And he will show up. I just gave you my testimony, so, of how he showed up for me. So there you have it. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I did not expect to cry. I'm not being dramatic, I promise. And yeah, bye.